Morning, everybody. Well, got the biggest challenge that we've had all year for sure, and in Miami, this is a really complete football team. Manny's done a great job down there, and I mean they got dudes everywhere. Pretty easy to see when you turn the film on. Offensively, they're playing with a lot of confidence. They're fast. This quarterback is a special player. Running backs are physical. They got speed and length outside. Tight end. They got two tight ends that are probably, first 2-round type guys at the next level. Very experienced offensive line. Play incredibly fast with their tempo, and got our hands full for sure. And they're balanced in what they do. But looking at their quarterback, I mean he's a great quarterback. I mean, he can do it all. There's really nothing he can't do. He can make all the throws, and when he runs it, I mean, he's a running back. He's got that mindset too of a running back when he takes off running. Very physical. He's averaging 5.4 yards after contact. So this is a very physical player, and he's averaging 15 yards a scramble. He's made some huge plays in the passing game, and again, just a really good scheme and a big challenge for us. But good players all across the board. Like I said, very experienced up front, a bunch of starters back, and you mix in this quarterback, and all of a sudden you got the recipe for a lot of success. So that's what you've seen in their first 3 games. And then defensively, they got a lot of special talent, starting up front. I mean, they got the Player of the Year from Temple, the AAC Conference Player of the Year, who's there, and then that number 15, man, he is a long, physical, violent athlete coming off the edge. The guys inside are great players. Got a bunch of guys that can run on the back end. So this is a complete team in every facet of the game. So we got our hands full, but we're excited about it. Look forward to the challenge. That's for sure. This is the way it should be. It gets tougher as you go. It doesn't get easier as you go. It gets tougher, and so we're super excited about another night game in the Valley and game day and all that stuff. But for us, proud of our team and all that they've accomplished in the first quarter of our season. Being 3-0 is the good news, and also the good news is we're 3-0 and we hadn't come close to playing our best football. We got a lot of improving that we can do, which is very encouraging. And that's our job as coaches to get us better. But I think we're in a good spot from a health standpoint, and hopefully we can continue to have good success in doing what we need to do. The rest of this week, we've got 2 more tests, Wednesday and Friday, and hopefully get good results there, and got everybody there ready for the show Saturday night. But with that, I'll take your questions.
Line is open for questions.
Coach, it's Trevor Gross from CUTars.com here. You mentioned that they're a complete team. That includes, of course, special teams. That transfer kicker of theirs is a really good field goal kicker. How good is it to know that your special teams have been playing as well as they have, especially BT?
Yeah, after 3 games, that's been the most pleasing part. If you ask me one area of our team that I'm just most excited about, it's been our special teams. After 3 games, we've made a difference in the game. That's a part of our plan to win, is to make a difference in the game. To create field position for the offense, create field position for the defense, to score points. Special teams does all those things. And so really proud of what we've been able to do, the consistency there. Spires has been really good for us in executing what we need when we need it. And, our Potter and our whole battery's been excellent there. Our coverage has been good. But the biggest positive has been our return game. We've had some explosives in the return game, and then the improvement with BT. Those were 2 areas that were where we were the most inconsistent last year. And so far, after 3 games, we've been very good there. So hopefully that'll continue.
else with anything for Coach?
Dabo, this is Murray Williams. With their front four defensively, do they mainly rely on them to generate pressure, or do they do some exotic stuff just with their fronts, or is it mainly just rely on those guys to disrupt?
Well, they want those guys to. That's where it starts, for those guys to be disruptive, and they are. They're very disruptive. I mean, they're not sit and read guys. They're off the ball, in your grits, quick guys. So they're not sitting around waiting on anything. They're trying to create havoc, but they bring a fair amount of pressure as well. Whether it be zone pressures or blitzing more than you can block. I mean, they mix it up. And we've only got what we got so far on tape, but they definitely are not afraid to bring pressure, and they've shown that, whether it be corner blitzes, plugging the backers, adding on, whatever it may be. But it definitely starts with those guys up front and just being who they are and being fast and physical at the line of scrimmage.
Coach, it's Trevor again. You went up against Rhett Lashley when you played Auburn in 2016. How different or similar is his offense now, do you think, compared to what he did with Auburn?
Well, I mean, I think he's running it for sure, and I think he's probably grown and evolved a little bit. I think he went to Connecticut and then he ended up over at SMU. So I think as coaches, you learn and evolve as you go through it. But he's still got his core philosophy. He's going to play fast. He's going to play really, really fast, and try to create some disruption in your communication and your ability to line up, and being disciplined and getting your eyes on the right things and create some explosives through that. I think that he's very committed to the run. There's no question about that. They've been really, really good running the football. They're balanced. They take their shots. First play of the game downfield versus UAB. First play of the game against Louisville, boot. So I mean, they're going to take shots. They're going to create some gadgetry, if you will. Some of the things that I'm sure he's gotten from Auburn as well over his years with Gus. But he's done a good job. I mean, did a great job at SMU. Did a great job. And, have no doubt that he'll have them well prepared for us Saturday night.
Dabo, this is Gene in Charleston. Brian Brazier, are you getting from him about what you thought you would get? And is there a former Clemson player you could kind of compare him to? And also, is there an opponent player that you could compare him to?
We're getting more than we could have expected out of Brian Brazier. He's a true freshman, and he's got, 2 or 3 sacks in 3 games, and 2 of those games limited snaps, just by nature of the game. So he's got a bright future, and he's going, if he stays healthy, he'll be a freshman All-American type guy, all that stuff for sure, because he's just very gifted and disruptive. Game is natural to him. He's so physical and big and athletic, but man, he's just going to get better and better as he goes through his career. So Trevor was a great player as a freshman, led us to a national championship, but there's no comparison between Trevor now and Trevor as a freshman. So Brian is a special talent, but far from a complete player. But we're getting more than you could have ever expected from a true freshman. So excited about him. As far as comparing him, I don't really know. I mean, we've had some big time. He's a combination of a lot of guys. He's certainly athletic like Christian. He's kind of freaky big like Dexter. Not quite Dexter, but the combination of that athleticism and size makes him unique. He's got a motor like Grady Jarrett. Just something like that. You just can't coach that. You either got that or you don't. And he's got that type of tenacity. He loves it. He's a great teammate, and so he's a little bit of a combination of a lot of the guys that we've had come through here. But hopefully, as he goes through his career, I'll have a little more clarity on the other guys.
Hey, Dabo, it's Anna with 24/7 Sports. Tony was talking yesterday about how just the importance of accuracy, especially downfield in the passing game against Miami, because they like to force you to throw the ball into tight windows. So just kind of the importance of making contested catches and catches in traffic this weekend. Is that more about most importance?
Yeah, and we've had to do that, the first 3 games. I mean, we've had, Amari had to fight through a shoulder to get on top of a guy, downfield, contested plays. I mean, he was close on another one, very contested play. We've had a bunch of those to this point. We get it every day in practice. So, fortunately, we've got, really good players out there that I think are ready to accept the challenge. And we got a quarterback that's very accurate. But it's of utmost importance every single week that we play, that we're accurate and that we, win the majority of those competitive plays. That's why you play the wideout. But when you play a team like Miami, the margin for error is smaller. So, we got to maximize our opportunities, when they present themselves.
Dabo, Scott Kiefer with the Greenville News. Given your personnel and Miami's personnel, how high would you rate the potential for explosive plays Saturday night?
Pretty high. There's a bunch of good football players. There's a bunch of guys on both sides that'll be playing on Sunday, in the near future. So you got really, really good players. There's going to be some explosives on both sides. This will be a heck of a game. It'll be a great matchup. This is like I said, by far the biggest challenge we've had and the biggest challenge they've had. So this is what it's all about. That's why they made it game day. You got 2 good teams here going at it.
Yeah, well, this is Pete at AP. You mentioned game day coming. I mean, usually these kind of night games, I'm thinking Notre Dame at home, Louisville.
Pete, I can hear you. That's what I got. So I don't know if you can hear me or not, but that's how you sound.
How about now? Can
No.
you hear me now?
You're in a sewer pipe somewhere.
I think I am. Yeah. Pete, if you'll type your question in the chat, I'd be happy to pass it on after this next
I
question.
have no idea what he said. Got to get the Verizon guy. He ain't been there yet, right? The Verizon guy. Can you hear me now? He ain't been there yet. Wherever Pete's at, he's got one spot on the planet he hadn't been yet.
Hey, Coach, it's David Hook with TigerNet. Are you already keeping an eye on the weather for this weekend? Supposed to be, maybe some nasty weather come through, another tropical storm, bringing a hurricane and hurricanes with it. Do you already start to keep an eye on that?
I hadn't even looked at it one time, not 1 second. What's that going? What good would that do me? I could care less. Hey, we've played in hurricanes before. We actually play in the hurricanes. We got double hurricanes this week. My son plays the Hurricanes on Friday night, so we got hurricanes everywhere. This week. But I really, honestly, I haven't looked at anything on the weather. I'm just, whatever the good Lord gives us, as long as it's the same weather for both teams, none of it matters.
Hey, Dabo, this is Grace Rayner with The Athletic. With this being the first top 10 matchup at home since Louisville 4 years ago, what do you remember about that game and that night?
2 amazing quarterbacks. Neither one wanted to lose, and did everything they could to help their teams win. And it was a special performance by Lamar, special performance by Deshaun, a bunch of unbelievable individual performances across the board. Remember Jordan Leggett, and just some great plays. And then comes down to one play, Marcus Edmond. 4th down. Game on the line. It was one for the ages. 2 really, really good teams that laid it all on the line that night. We were very fortunate to truly make one more play than they did.
So we've got a question on behalf behalf of Pete from the Associated Press. Do you think you'll lose something in the big night game at the Valley with the reduced crowd?
I mean, I don't know. Where you go? I mean, we still got to absolute. I mean, you lose 60,000 people, so that they're not there. But you know, those 20,000 that'll be there, they'll give us all they got, and so it is what it is. So again, I really don't spend any energy at all worrying about things that I have no control over, can't do anything about. You know, all my energy is directed to, you know, about getting the team ready to play and making sure we're sound in all areas.
Coach Joe Gorcho, WIS. Trevor Lawrence was talking about how he enjoys the fact that Miami might bring a little smack talk before, during, and after plays. As a coach, do you like seeing players maybe exchanging some pleasantries during, or could that become distracting to what you guys need to accomplish throughout the game?
Yeah, I just like guys to go play the game. You know, I mean, I think again, you only have so much energy. You know, and it's an emotional game for sure. You know, and there's lots of emotion, but I think there's a difference in being emotional and reactive and things like that. I mean, you got to just play the game, and you know, so I mean, there's energy and competitiveness and all that, but I think we want to win on the scoreboard. That's where we want to win, and to do that, you got to really focus on how you're playing. And you got to focus on your job, not who you're playing and, you know, what they may be saying or whatever. I've never really been much into that stuff.
Yeah, but this is Matt with the State. Following up on Grace's question, are there any similarities between King and Lamar, and what's the challenge like trying to stop quarterbacks that can do both the way they can?
Well, I mean, it's always a challenge to stop, you know, gifted athletic quarterbacks. I mean, we had that last week. I mean, a kid was a great player. I mean, he's a really good player. Very smart, athletic, tough. I mean, you see that shot that he took from Skowski early on, and he hops right back up. You know, I mean, he's like a linebacker playing quarterback, and it's the same thing with this guy. I mean, when he takes off, I mean, he's a run back. And that's the mindset he has, and you better have your big boy pads on. And then he can, you know, he wants to throw it first. He's a very good thrower, and he can throw the ball on the run. He can push the ball down the field. There's really nothing he can't do. You know, they're different. You know, he's fast, but you know, he's not Lamar Jackson fast. Lamar Jackson was probably the fastest guy on the field, either team. You know, but you know, their guy's you know, he's a very dangerous player. But they're different in some regards. But the similarities are they've got good people around them. They're well coached, good schemes, and you know, they challenge you because they can beat you with their mind, they can beat you with their arm, they can beat you with their legs, and so you know, that's a three-phase quarterback.
Hey, Coach, this is Cam Gaskins with ABC Columbia. I know every season you get tired of the narrative that you guys don't play anybody tough in an ACC schedule. So when you have a top 10 matchup like this in conference, how important is a game like this on a national stage to remind people that you guys aren't the only good team in the ACC?
Oh, I ain't worried about none of that. I don't really care about what other people think. I mean, we play good people every year. I mean, we've been in 4 national championship games and 5 playoffs, and we've had to earn our way there. You don't get, you know, if you're not good enough, you're either good enough or you're not, you know, to win those type of games. So, and the main reason we've been able to win those type of games is because of what we see week in and week out. So, you know, people make up their own narratives that oftentimes are not reality. So I don't really worry about that. I just worry about what I can control, and that's our team, our program. And, you know, this is a really good football team we're getting ready to play. It's a rematch from ACC championship game a couple years ago. We just played Virginia, a rematch from last year's ACC championship game. So these are good teams that, you know, we're going to have to navigate through it if we want to win this league.
Hey, Coach, it's David Hood again. Everybody loves to talk about the matchups and the quarterbacks and all that, but 15, Jalen Phillips, the defensive end, will it be fun to watch him go against the tackles all night, especially considering he brings that length and then the speed as well.
Yeah, and don't forget too. Lord help me. Let's don't make him mad. Make sure you mention too. Both them guys are really, really good. So Jackson and Jordan, they better be ready because it's gonna be a 4-quarter battle. That'll be fun to watch. If I was just sitting up in the stands, I'd be putting my eyes on them on that offensive line and defensive line. I think that's gonna be probably where the game's won and lost.
Coach, this is Travis Bowen, Clemson SI. Just to kind of piggyback on that, how important is it to establish the line of scrimmage and get that run game going, especially after suffering some third and longs early last week?
Yeah, we got in some third and longs, but we were going back and look at it. We actually did a lot of good things on first down, but it's just the way the nature of the game was. They're always triggering somebody, always an extra hat, always a corner, always a safety, and they're giving you a lot of space. And Travis had 114 yards receiving. So we put the ball in space, and that's why we were able to get through some of those third and longs. But we got to cut out some of the missed opportunities that got us off schedule a few times. But 53% on third down, that's going to win a lot of games. But we just go in and week out. People talk about stats and rushing. We could have rushed the ball. We could be leading the country in every statistical category after 3 games, if that's what my objective was. If I wanted to be leading the nation in rushing right now, we could be doing that. But that's not our objective around here. Our objective is to develop our team and to prepare our team and to win the game that we're playing.
Hey Dabo, it's Josh from the Post and Courier. Andrew Booth said after the game that interception was really big for his confidence. How much has that been a point of emphasis for him over the last 12 months?
That's great. Last year was a big learning experience for him, and he wasn't really 100%, kind of battling a little knee issue all year. But he got some experience, and that was good for him. But it was great. He got a chance to learn from a guy like AJ last year. Just a true guy. In front of him. DK was a first-year guy. He was trying to figure it out. So I'm really glad he had a guy like AJ to really, really learn from on how you go about your business, and he's done awesome. I love our corners. I think that we got several guys that can play. You saw that the other night. I don't really, to be honest with you, I don't really care who runs out there first. I don't care how much they play because I trust those guys. I feel really, really good about the guys at corner. This is a competitive group, and for the first time really in a long, long time, I think that we can keep guys fresh and hopefully get better as the game goes and just have the type of real depth that you need to have. We've got some guys there that can play the position. Got a couple young guys that are coming, but those 5 veteran guys. DK and Mario and Sheridan and Booth and even Lee Anthony, who's a little different from those guys, but a very functional player. Those 5 guys, can get the job done for us. So, you saw us rotate them in there and in any situation. So it's good to see that confidence in them growing. And Booth is a guy that I think has an incredibly bright future.
Dabo, this is Larry Williams again. Not sure how much 2019 film of Miami's offense you've watched, just given the change in philosophy, but curious what the difference in their offensive line is this year compared to last.
Yeah, you have to ask Brent that. I watched 0 of their 19 offense. Watched more. Well, obviously these games here, and then a little bit of. Just schematically some things they're doing at SMU. That's really it. But they got a transfer in there at tackle, a little different. But I think we've gotten a good feel for them after 3 games this year. It's always difficult if this was an opener, you'd have to do a little bit more of that. But from a personnel standpoint, but with 3 games, against some, really competitive teams, I think even UAB is UAB's a good football team and well coached, and so I think we've got 3 good games to study up as far as the personnel stuff, and schematically there's really no carryover. So, but I'll guarantee you Brent watched every bit of it. Bet on that.
Dabo, can you hear me now?
I got you. There you go.
Hey, talking about interceptions, across the ACC, it seems like a lot of teams are getting them. Pitt's got a bunch. Syracuse has a bunch. You don't really have to worry about your guy throwing them, it seems like a lot. But do you think maybe is the defense ahead of the offense these days? I mean, is that just in COVID land, the defense is coming out a little bit faster than offenses? Do you think?
I mean, I don't know. I don't really know. I mean, I can just speak from our perspective. I think we've come out really fast offensively, against Wake, against Citadel, even last week. I mean, we come right out of the gate. I think we scored 7 out of 10 competitive drives. So I think it just depends on, what your experience is and those type of things. But hopefully we can continue to do a good job of taking care of the football and, not taking, making dumb plays. If you're going to have a tip ball pick somewhere, somebody's going to make a nice competitive play. But it's those forced errors. Those are the things you want to eliminate. And really proud of Trevor. He's done a great job, been very disciplined. It's hard to check the ball down on 3rd and 16 or 3rd and 12. But if that's what they're giving you, then you have to trust that. And, and if sometimes you want to take some shots, but if they're playing heavy coverage deep, then you have to take what's there. And you got to stay disciplined within the system. If you do, you're going to get good results and avoid negative plays. And so Trevor gets that. He's done a great job. But, that bunch last week was leading the nation in takeaways. So I'm really proud of our guys. We +2 in the margin. And then, interceptions come on the other side when you're aligned properly, when your eyes are where they need to be. You've got good timing in what you're doing. You have a great understanding of what the offense is doing. That comes from preparation. So, we're off to a pretty good start, and hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Thank you.
Coach, this is Trevor again. I know you're more focused on your game this week, but the Pac-12 commissioner proposed a 8-team playoff last week. I know in the past you've been against expansion, but with this year, no crossover games, all the disparate schedules, you're going to have a lot of one-loss teams fighting over one spot. Your team could be one of those one-loss teams. Is this the one year that maybe they should consider going to 8 teams?
I guess you picking us to get beat this week right out of the gate, huh? You already got us. You already got us pegged, man. All right. I'm not. I'm not going to waste any brain cells on that. My focus is on what I control, and that's what we do here, getting our team ready to play, and just today. This is 2020. They may show up a month from now and tell us we're going to have a 32-team playoff. I have no idea. So just want to do a good job this week, and if the good Lord gives us another week, do a good job that week. That's really it for me.
Hey, Dabo, Anna again. I know you said Miami was committed to the run. So what have you seen through 3 games from Cameron Harris?
He's physical. I mean, he's averaging a bunch of yards, but just like the quarterback, he averaged 5 yards after contact. So, that's a pretty telling statistic right there. You learn a lot about a guy when you figure out what that stat is. And he's a very good zone runner. He's got a great feel, great instincts. Again, he gets behind his pads. He's made some explosive plays. He finds the creases, and he's a good cutback guy too when he needs to be. But he's a good football player, and they've been balanced. Very, very balanced in what they do. So it all starts, honestly, right there in the run game for them.
Hey, Dabo, it's Phil Kornblut. Have you heard from Deshaun since the shakeup in Houston yesterday, and are you ready for your name to be kind of floating around with that job over the next few weeks, few months?
I have not heard from Deshaun, and that is not even anything that I want to even have to even think about. It's just, you would be the one to ask that question. All the questions. Now, you want to ask anything about Miami? Next question.
Okay.
We'll take a couple more for Coach.
Hey, Coach. It's Tucker Pettigrew with Clemson Athletic Communications. How proud are you to see Will Swinney named as a Campbell Trophy semifinalist?
Yeah, it was pretty special moment. Pretty cool. It just shows his. I mean, he's a brilliant young man. He really is. Always has been. And his academic excellence is just through the roof. He's been a heck of an athlete his whole life, and he's been a one of the steadiest contributors that we've had here. 4 years as our holder, and making a contribution in other areas when he can, and he's one of the best leaders. He's very respected. And just really proud of him. So that was a pretty cool moment. When I literally found out, like everybody else, whenever the press release, I guess Ross sent it to me. So really proud of him. Super proud.
We'll take one more for Coach.
It's Trevor's birthday today, and Brazier. It was a good day in heaven for football players on this day. That's two pretty good ones right there.
Anybody with anything else? Last call. All right.
All right. Appreciate it.